Hello, Good Life Travelers. Welcome to another episode of Travel Talk Tuesday. We've got the full crew here, and we are talking all about food this week because it's Food and Travel Week. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
We got Chrissy and Tamara and Michael, and we're so happy to be with you. Our favorite day of the week, Tuesday mornings. We all prepare our own way. Tamara was vacuuming. Chrissy was complaining. And I was thinking about food. Now, I was thinking this morning, ladies, this week is all about food. And normally we have a food spread. Yeah. And today we're not even going to eat while we talk about food. And if you're wondering why, it's because we may all look thinner. It's because we're in healthy lifestyles. We're all have turned a new leaf, and it's almost Speedo body seasons. And so we're not going to eat during our food episode.
Imagine the food.
I could eat during this. I didn't prepare anything. I should have. I probably could round some stuff up.
If anyone could, you're like our Martha Stewart. But like we're trying to be healthy. It's swimsuit season's coming. Some season is coming up soon.
Sooner than you know it.
It's never stopped us before. Oh,
No.
Yeah.
This year's different though.
This year's different. We turn over a new leaf.
Yeah, can't you tell? I mean, I look at us. I feel like eventually we're all going to be like in the middle of this thing, you know. But
no more wide angle lens.
So it is Food Travel Week. Now, when you think about your trips, you're planning them. I feel like all of us plan a little differently, or what we look forward to a little differently. Does food play any role in any of your decisions when it comes to planning a trip?
For myself?
Well, I'm asking the group.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I'm going to an all-inclusive, really not so much. I mean, I'm going to do my research and make sure I'm going to one that has decent food because, as you know, there are a reputation that some do not. But we like to, do that research and find out the ones with the best reviews. And so that's, if I were doing an all-inclusive, that's how I would do it.
Okay. Do you have many clients that say, I want one with the best food, or food's really important to me, or any foodies to all-inclusives?
I would say most of my clients say they want decent food. They want it to be good. I do have some that, are more picky and more foodie types. But I think because, there are some out there that aren't that great. The people that are asking me to do the research for them want to make sure that the food is good and decent, yes.
There's a wide range for all-inclusive.
There are. But when I ask my people, when I qualify them on what's important to them, oh, here comes the giant thumbs. Food is usually always on that list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tamara, when you're planning your personal trips, are you thinking food? Is food important when you're thinking about where you want to go? You're all over the world, so you're going to get different food experiences.
Yeah.
How important of a role does food play when you're looking at what you're
I definitely do research before I leave about, what is the must-have dish. And I try to understand, how to order from a menu. And I try to pick out some words, at least, that I know for, chicken or beef. But if I'm going to a very exotic location, I tend to pack some emergency granola bars just in case.
How many packs did you bring when you went to Africa?
I did too, but I brought a lot back. I really did. I didn't even go through one whole pack of them. So, it just depends.
How about your clients? Do you get many that say food's important, or we want food to be an integral part of our trip?
I really do have clients that food is a very important part of their trip, for sure.
Okay. I think for me, it's probably similar. I'd say 2/3 say I want good food, and a third either don't mention or they want acceptable food. No one wants to go hungry, but where some people food plays a big role. They want that those experiences. They want the good taste, the good drinks, all that. They want the whole experience.
For my travelers, it's a very important part of understanding the culture, the food. I mean, that's really one of the biggies of understanding, France or Italy or wherever.
Or Tokyo. When I was in Tokyo, I mean, I did the food tour, and I think anyone who goes to Tokyo needs to do some kind of food tour because it's so different, so unique. I think that's such a big part of their culture.
Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite things to do, I try to do it at every trip, is I try to go to a grocery store.
Oh, you love grocery stores.
But I really try to find, where do regular people just go shop? And, some are very, very similar to us. Some are very unique. Some are very, very different.
I remember stopping at the Puerto Rican one before we hit the airport to get bread.
I brought bread back.
That one wasn't that different, though. I felt like Puerto Rico wasn't too crazy.
Good pans, bread. Yeah, pans so wow. So good.
Yeah, what was that sandwich you made with the ham and the cheese?
Oh, Mallorca's.
Which I don't even like ham.
Yeah,
but
Mallorca's.
ham and cheese, that bread,
Yeah.
Woo.
So good.
Lots of good food out there.
Yeah.
So it's interesting when people think about trips, what kind of experiences, then, you know, how much some of these other pieces, for some people, maybe it's wellness or fitness, that kind of junk, you know. Maybe it's people are just looking for adventure, crazy, high wire stuff, or some people really, food's a big thing, you know. So it's fascinating to hear what people are looking for when they travel. Just like it's as unique about what the good life looks like for you, food is going to look unique for everyone too. It's very subjective.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Definitely.
okay. That's the big thing for cruises. When I watch reviews and stuff, two people could have the same ship, same itinerary, same buffet, and one thinks it's better than a main dining room anywhere, and the other one thinks that it's the worst ever. So it's really subjective.
Yeah,
really subjective.
Ships are all over the place too. I feel like you can have lots of buffets with just
like
pedestrian food, or you can have really high end top. Like I think some of the best food I've ever had is on Virgin Voyages. Like I think that's just top notch, and that's not even like the highest end.
No, but I find myself craving certain dishes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, we've all been on Virgin multiple times, I think, right? I know Tamara, you Chrissy, just once.
Yeah.
So there's probably certain things that, like, all right, I'm going to use this as an example. Certain ones that you're craving. What's a Virgin Voyage? Sorry, we're not going to dominate the whole show with cruises, but this is a good example.
Really?
What's a dish, because we've all been there, that you're craving, your favorite thing on a Virgin Voyage?
Oh, the clam chowder.
The clam chowder in the wake, which is very unique, and it's a interactive experience. They pour the broth.
You have like the clams and potatoes and carrots and all that
bacon
in the bowl, and then they come over with the hot broth and pour it.
So good.
So good.
And I like to have it at the brunch with breakfast. A lot of people think that's crazy, but you can have that soup anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tamara, you're a big Virgin Voyager.
Yeah.
You've been on a lot of them.
I have two. Both are pork related. Bacon at Razzle.
I knew you were going to say that one. Yes.
So I would cruise just for the bacon. It's that good.
Yeah.
And then in Pink Agave, they have I think it's called conchil pork, maybe. And it's like a slow roasted, marinated pork that's just out of this world. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You know, I've only been to that one twice. And the one time we had family style. So I can't, you know, when you have family style, it's great because you get to try everything, but I don't remember what everything was.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, I didn't have that. There's a steak there that they have a piece of cheese on, which I think is the weirdest thing ever. But it is so good. Whatever the sauce or whatever, it's so juicy. Yeah, and then their pizza, I think, is the best pizza. Every cruise line says they have the best pizza at sea. I don't believe it. I've tried a lot of them. Not all of them yet, but a lot of them. And they're still the best. I mean, and the fact that you can have truffle oil on any pizza, you know.
Oh my.
That's
So good.
So
I'm
today,
hungry.
yes. So today's all about food and travel. And, you know, how do you approach this? Tamara had a good idea. At first I thought she was crazy. But then, like often, I came around and I realized she had a good idea. So we're going to do step-by-step to a meal and kind of look at our niches and how it goes there. So I did flip one thing. So I think we're going to start with, when you're thinking about a meal, you got to go to the grocery store, right? Mm-hmm. You got to go to the market. So when we're talking about food on board, going to the market, preparing, getting fresh ingredients, why don't you relate that to your niche? So I'll go first to give an example. A big thing on cruise lines now are these excursions, and I'm sure it's the same in your niches as well, where you go with the chef into the local markets, and they kind of show you what they're looking for, and a lot of the chefs base the menus on these ships, the big ocean, well, more on the river, but the ocean ships and the river ones, about local ingredients. So you can go with the chef, and they take you to the markets, and they show you what they're looking for. You get to taste stuff, and then some of them you come back on board and actually cook with those ingredients. Some you just have those ingredients in your meals later on in the day. So a couple things I wanted to point out. There's a SALT program, Sea and Land Taste, on Silver Sea, which is like a spearheading leader in this kind of whole thing, where you're going to see farm to market, farm to table kind of an experience, and you're with the chef, and that makes me hungry thinking about it. And then Windstar does this, and where you can shop with the chef. A lot of them do too, but I wanted to feature those two. The problem is that this is so popular now. If you don't sign up right away for these experiences, these unique experiences, they sell out fast. So for cruising, you want to go to markets, you can do it on your own, you can do it as part of a tour, or you can do it with one of the chefs, and I think that's an awesome experiences. So I'll hand it over to you two and your areas of expertise.
Well, I'll go because mine would probably be similar. So at an all-inclusive, it's not, you're not really going to wander off property to go to the market, but there are excursions and tours like Michael mentioned for cruises in destination for all-inclusives. But, a couple islands like Aruba and Curacao where I've had people visit, they're more like walker friendly, just exploring their towns and that. And they do have some great farmers markets. So I think that would be where you could tie in markets into an all-inclusive, maybe one of those islands.
Tamara?
So mine's all over the place because depending on where you are in the world, everybody shops differently. So in places like, I'll use Africa as an example, you really don't have much of a supermarket at all. You're either growing your own stuff or you are buying it from a local vendor, a local market who has grown it and then takes it to the market. Plus side is everything's super fresh. You get really interesting things. Downside is you often see what you're going to eat in raw form. Sometimes alive, sometimes not. So that's Africa, but even Thailand, I love a market. I really love going to the market, but sometimes it's really tough to see all the stuff. And then to realize that's probably where the restaurant shops too. And, I'm seeing the chickens out there unrefrigerated. It's fine. That's how they do it. But
in Italy, you see the pig heads.
Yeah. That's all over Europe. So a couple of things about Europe, because that's where I do most of my work, is so they have specialty stores, which are really cool. So I've seen stores that are nothing but flour in Italy. So you have, there's all sorts of different types of flour, and the way it's milled is differently, and it's all very important to Italian cuisine. And there are stores that just specialize in that stuff. So it's kind of cool to see that. Also in Europe, I've noticed a lot of places I've stayed are farm to table now, where you can have an experience. In Spain, I stayed at a monastery for a couple of nights, and we went into their field, and we were able to pick stuff, which, I love to do that. They gave us
cool
hats and
our little Martha Stewart here.
Yeah. So we had to go pick the vegetables, which a lot of them I weren't even familiar with, that then they prepared for dinner for that evening. So that was fun too. But most of the world does not have food storage like we have. So you have to go to the market much more frequently than we do. You really can't store a lot of stuff. I think that's very good for them. Their food is fresh. It tastes fresh. It tastes totally different than what we have here, and I really like it. Not a lot of preservatives.
I think that's when I stayed in a not a villa per se, but a apartment or something in Europe. The one thing that threw me off the first time was they either had those tiny fridges that we would have in a dorm, or not even smaller than an apartment sized fridge here. Mm-hmm. And for me, my first question was, well, how do you survive? How do you grocery shop? And the solution is what you're saying is that they go either daily. You grab vegetables on the way home, or you grab the bread on the way, and it's a different way. And that fresh is, that might be some of the health because there's not as many preservatives, right?
There's no click list. You can't order your groceries.
Don't bring up click. I have a beef with click lists.
Oh no,
they never have my food ready anymore, so I'm done.
One more thing I wanted to mention too is that in Europe you can go and stay. In Tuscany, there's a place called Tuscany where you can go and stay and be a guest of the resort hotel, but it's really a cooking school. So you go and you immerse yourself in cooking for however long you sign up for, and it's pretty cool. And there's things like that all over the place. And I often, especially for Italy, I will have my clients do an event, a cooking event with a Caesarina. Those are ladies who open their home to teach you how to cook. So you'll go to the market with her or him sometimes, and then go back to their home and learn how to make usually a 3-course meal and just enjoy the evening and learn about the culture.
So I was on a celebrity cruise, and I met some older ladies, 3 ladies that were cruising together, and they did that excursion. Now, very expensive. I want to say it was $350 a person, which is a reason sometimes to work with us to find a third-party supplier. But I remember the 3 of them coming back saying, hands on, the best excursion they've ever done. And these ladies have done a lot of cruising. And it was going to the market with the lady, going around her farm, because she lived on a farm, and then coming back to her house. And I think there was 5 or 6 people. Very small, very intimate. They rolled up their sleeves, and like it just like hearing them talk about it just made you really want to do it because it sounded like so much fun, such a unique experience.
It's immersive into their culture.
Yeah. I that 2 weeks doing one of those. What did you call those? The cooking.
Oh, Tusk Cooking.
Tusk Cooking.
Yeah, one of our clients told me about that, and I'm very intrigued by it. But there's things like that all over.
How crazy is that? Really expensive?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
But you know, if you want an immersive experience,
that would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
No healthy lifestyle with that.
So that's getting the food, and we're kind of transitioning into learning how to cook the food with that kind of experience.
Yeah.
Christy, I'm guessing we're probably very similar in this. There's probably some cooking classes or excursions with excursions too.
Yeah. There's so cooking classes are available at different resorts. More of the high-end resorts will offer cooking classes. Unico and Live Aqua are two in Cancun that I know of for sure. And in Aruba, which I'm sure you can do it at other places, I think you mentioned this, you can work with a private chef and set up a tour, not necessarily a tour, but an excursion where you'll shop and they will teach you how to cook a meal.
You know, that's big too. So some of the cruise lines, I would say the mass market resort style ships, contemporary ships, and then the premium, a lot of them will have these, what is, not a display, but a demonstration. So you'll go into the theater, you know, that seats, 1,000 people, and there'll be someone up there, and they'll cook it, and there'll be the screens, and it's that kind of experience, which I think is kind of like an entry level mass market, if you will, for everyone. And then a lot of them will have individual kind of sessions, like there's a sushi roll class or making a ramen class, which I was with on one of the cruises, a group cruise, a lady that owns a catering business did the ramen class. And it was taught by people from Japan, that cruise staff that kind of organizes themselves. It was actually interesting. I'm surprised the cruise line allowed this. And they did it as a fundraiser for a local charity back in Japan. So these 3 or 4, they must be in the food area of the ship as staff members, and Celebrity allowed them to put on this class. And so the lady that did does catering and was on our group, she did the ramen one and said it was phenomenal because these people were from Japan and you learned firsthand how they did it. Great experience. And then some of the higher end ships are now being built with whole classrooms, which I think this is, if you're really a foodie, you want to do the cooking, better than the demonstrations, better than these little things, is where you're actually in a room with 18 stations or 10 stations. You each have these little kitchens, and you're kind of doing it, learning it from one of the head chefs on a cruise ship, which I think is an awesome experience. Big ones like that, Silver Sea, Oceania, Regent, have those classrooms, and you do some training on it, and they look like awesome experiences. You know, I'm going on that Regent cruise coming up for a seminar at sea. They were sold out, all the classes. I was very disappointed. I was so excited. There's a cost, and I was ready to bite the bullet for the class. And it was sold out.
I bet you know somebody that can help you find maybe something else on land.
I know. Any other classes that you wanted to refer to?
So I sometimes will, if you don't want to like actually participate in the cooking, but you just want to like be in somebody's home in that culture and watch them cook and just kind of enjoy wine or whatever. I have lots of connections that I can, like I've got some couples going to Paris in June, and they're going to somebody's home for the evening, and they're going to have dinner with them. But, you know, I can do that all over the world, pretty much.
That's kind of a unique experience, too.
Yeah.
So they're probably just sitting back, sipping on wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just chatting and asking questions and learning about their culture. And, you know, you get to peel back the curtain a little bit and see how they live. And, you know, do they have pets? And what's the refrigerator look like? You know, those types of things. Yeah. So
that's what I love about Ubers in other countries if they speak English, because I like to pick their brains about, you know, all that kind of stuff. So being in their home, sipping on wine, probably having some good food, that sounds like a good experience.
Listening to music, yeah. They're not super expensive. They're, you know, you're having dinner with it, so.
Yeah, if it's a 3-course, you said 3-course, I think?
Yeah, well, it just depends on where you go, but, you know, if you're going to go out, you need dinner, so you can go to a restaurant, which is great, too, or you can have, like, an immersive experience like this, which I like. And
I don't want to be negative, but I just have to say, I don't think you're going to find that on Priceline.com or at any of the big box stores, these kind of experiences that you're going to get from a professional.
I doubt it, no.
Okay, so we got the food, we learned how to cook. We talked about sipping on some good wine, so let's evolve our change to cocktails. We have to start with our queen of cocktails. She's putting her glass on because she's in the mode.
I got quite a few of these. Okay, so my all-inclusives, you know, are in different countries, and each country sometimes has cocktails that they're famous for or that you've got to try once you're there. Aruba, for a matter of fact, has the Aruba, and we got to taste those when I was visiting there on my fam trip. And it's basically like a rum punch. It was invented at the Hilton in Aruba, and they have this cute little sign, like with this historical information with the guy who wrote it out on a napkin, and the napkins in there. It's pretty cool.
That's the first history tour Chrissy ever took.
The Aruba. And Balashi beer, I think it's pronounced Balashi beer. That is beer that's brewed in Aruba, which is delicious. We stopped at a small little local restaurant and bar and had a mango Balashi, which was amazing. It was
Great
so
journey,
good.
Tamara.
And you can't get it here, so that stinks. Jamaica is known for what? Rum. Jamaica, most famous for rum. One of their great drinks is the Bob Marley. So that is a drink that I think I posted when I was there. It's the color of the Jamaican flag. It's a frozen cocktail, super fun. Some other cocktails that are well known to all-inclusives, of course, the pina colada, the dirty monkey, margaritas in Mexico, purple rain. Has anybody had a purple rain at an all-inclusive?
No, you haven't brought one back from us.
I feel like I did at my family one.
They're very pretty, but let me tell you, there's gin and vodka in there, blue curacao. Yeah.
I think it was good though.
It
Different.
was good. So with the grenadine and the blue curacao, it makes it purple. But lots of liquor in that one. And of course, mojitos and hurricanes. So if you want cocktails from sun up to sundown at an all-inclusive.
Chrissy's got your place.
I got you.
This is the most excited I've ever seen.
Speaking my language today.
You're all aflutter over there.
Yeah, so yes.
Sure. Last time we had this, they called back 10 times. So we'll see how this goes. Oh! Hey!